I'm just
I
happy.
have fixed.
I'm just happy everything worked out.
I'm always happy that things work out.
I don't know what you just did.
Open the beer very loudly? Oh, there are twist-offs.
Oh. Well, here I was using a bottle opener.
Well, in the end, the bottle's open and the beer can be in us.
Yes.
And that's what truly counts,
That's what matters.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I like how it's kind of become a traditional thing now, the opening of a beer and a clicking of a beer at the beginning of an episode.
Opening the podcast, opening the beer.
So, Oh, right. I was about to say, like, we were going to have this whole, like, starting point for the podcast. You said there was like, oh, that'll be a great jumping off point. I forgot what it was. Then I looked at your beer and went, oh, right, the beers.
Yeah, we are drinking Joe Beef beer.
Sorry, you totally just looked at me to, like, finish your sentence, and I'm like, I'm drinking this shit. You can talk, bitch. Yes, Joe Beef beer from the famous Joe Beef restaurant here in Montreal.
Oh my god, Joe Beef. I mean, if those of our friends and coworkers who are listening...
Joe Beef?
That was for you.
That was for you.
God. We've been to Joe Beef.
Yeah, that was my first and only time going.
I went twice. The first time I went, it was shitty, though, because... Not because of the food. The food was fantastic.
I was going to say.
Because I had a sore throat.
Oof.
So I couldn't enjoy it. So I'm like, I gotta go back. And finally, the opportunity arose to go again.
I think we went back because of you. I mean, you planned the whole thing. You were just like, hey, I'm going to make a reservation for a bunch of people, and then I'll find people who want to go, because for those of you who might be listening that aren't Montrealers or don't visit the city enough, it is a fantastically high-class restaurant, tons of great food, some of the best steaks.
Yeah, great steaks, great food in general.
Everything we ate there was fantastic.
And it's, I believe, there's probably some others that are pretty well-known, but I believe Joe Beef is the... most well-known Montreal restaurant on international circuits.
Probably a good reference point would be if anyone's watched The Layover with Anthony Bourdain, where he'll spend 24 hours in a city between flights just going to like his top spots.
Yeah.
The episode basically gets hijacked by the owners of Joe Beef.
Exactly.
Dave McMillan, who basically they get sit in the back of a truck, like literally the back of a pickup truck, and drink while being driven around different restaurants.
Going down St. Catherine. They're not like driving the back streets too. They're going down St. Catherine Street.
Oh yeah, just like brown bagging it.
Brown bagging it. It's and for those who are maybe not from Montreal, St. Catherine Street and Maisonneuve are two very main streets in
Pretty
Montreal.
much, if you're coming to Montreal, you're going downtown, you're gonna get a drink. You're probably gonna hit St. Cat at some point and just go for a walk.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many.
I had the opportunity to meet Dave McMillan.
I believe you told me this, but
yeah, it was like the day after I ended up seeing him and getting to chat with him a bit about helping him get Instagram back on his phone. And it was like, put in your email, joebeef@. I'm like, oh,
he came into your work.
Yes, and it was just like this moment of like, he looked vaguely familiar. I recognized the name, but I couldn't put two and two together. And then he's like, I need to get my Instagram logged in. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, let's double check your email and your password. And he goes and types in dave@joebeef.com, and I'm just like, I don't think that's not the actual email address. I just give something with Joe Beef, and it was very blatant, and I was like, oh, that Dave.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a little mini celebrity moment, because he's one of the most amazing chefs in Montreal, and I'm a big foodie.
Fantastic.
And it was a very fun little meeting. But no, that was it. Coming home today, and I knew beers was my turn, and I saw these, and I was like, you know what? Splurge something fancy, a good beer we know we both like.
Yeah, Joe Beef, for those who have not been, I'd say it's worth splurging for. Like, for me, remembering that night that we were there, I think I got an appetizer, a main course, and a drink.
Yeah.
I think with tax, it came out to about $60, which is a lot for, a basic meal, but for a good meal like at Joe Beef that you go to, once a year, it's worth doing.
That's it. Like, I've always been a big fan of those splurging moments where you kind of go to that one really good restaurant. I know very often my birthday, that's where my fiance will treat me to, is a really good restaurant. We've done Garde Manger.
Yeah.
The year before, we actually did Dave, the owner of Joe Beef's other restaurant, Liverpool House.
Liverpool House is also a good one. I have not been there, but I heard it's good. Garde Manger, I'd love to do.
Garde is good, yeah.
Montreal, I believe it was maybe a BuzzFeed or an MTL blog article that said Montreal has become the food.
Never speak of those again.
They had become the food capital
of
North America.
I can see that.
And I don't call myself a foodie, but there's nothing like being, I guess, taken care of at a nice restaurant.
And that's it. And that's the kind of thing too where, like, I've been to good restaurants where I've had like a good bite, but service wasn't amazing.
Exactly.
We've also got a really good collection of restaurants that are both high-end food and service quality. I mean, Garde Manger, we ended up sitting at the bar eating, and they were always checking in on us and just, coming by and seeing how we were doing. And, like, it wasn't just, how you doing? Good? Okay, bye. They would chat for a minute. They would share a story. Yeah. They'd ask how the food was. Had you eaten there before? Was it to your taste? Could you use more? Like, they really, like, they cared.
That's
and it was less of the, like, I'm being paid to do this. It's the, this is my profession. I love this.
Well, that's the thing. Think back to every restaurant that you like. Do you like it just because of the food? Probably not. Probably the atmosphere and the level of service. Like, I can think of restaurants where the food was good, but the staff was rude or just not attentive, or there was something that was not related to the food that negatively impacted me and that said, I'm not going to go to this place again.
Oh, yeah, no. And I'll call her out a little bit. My fiance, Paula, is quite critical of service in places like that. Rightfully so. Like, I'm not talking like she'll bitch at a waiter for being, like, a little slow. Mm-hmm. But after the fact, will be very, like, she would very easily not go back to some place she's been to, even if the food was good, because the service. She would be like, no, not worth it. Like, that service was abysmal.
Exactly. You can find good food and good service. And Montreal's not some cultural or culinary wasteland where there's like two places, and if one place sucks, guess what? You're going to the other place every time. The West Island might be a little bit like that where I live, but even they, you know, you have restaurants you can avoid and restaurants you
even the West Island's gotten a little better too. I'll give you the example. Very often, the after work local place to go grab a burger, I would say, is either Five Guys or Jukebox.
Yeah.
And I feel like Five Guys was the more traditional one, and it was more of a chain people know the name. And Jukebox was always sort of made fun of because it was bought by a bunch of rich Jewish fathers so their kids could have jobs.
Yeah.
But I will admit, in the last year or two, they've really upped the game. They've hired good staff. Either the girls that stayed or the kids that stayed got better. But I genuinely have good service every time I'm there. I love the atmosphere. It's a little fun and, like, you know, old 50s diner style.
Yeah.
But they now serve some really good burgers.
They've also been featured on some Food Network show.
Have they really?
Yeah, and they were in an Epic Mealtime video because Epic Mealtime is from, you know, the West
That's
Island.
it. Epic Mealtime, actually, one of my favorites, though, is they once made a giant pizza, so they ordered, like, I think 50 Domino's pizzas.
Yeah.
And my brother was the delivery guy.
Was he actually?
So the video is just like them opening the door, and my brother's there, like, 'cause he knew whose house it was, because we've grown up in the area. We've known them forever, the Morensteins. I worked with his sister for a bit. So my brother was there, like, it's like 9:30 at night, sunglasses on, just, like, looking totally disheveled, just pizzas. Look, kind of gone into character. He's only for a few seconds, but, you know, it's, that's another thing, too. It's like, Montreal really is a food city. Even, like, our big celebrity, like, internet guy, Harley, of Epic Mealtime, it's food.
Yeah.
Though they do a lot more now, and they do some great stuff, and he's a really well-spoken guy, Harley.
He is. I can't say anything, I can't say anything bad. I mean, I've never really met him, so
True.
I don't know him. I know a couple, like, I have connections. I think most West Island people have some person who knows somebody who is associated with Epic Mealtime. I mean, our ex-coworker,
Yeah, Mike
is now associated with them.
Does the editing for their show and also runs their Epic Gaming channel on YouTube. And
yeah.
Pretty much plays Overwatch all the time, which I'm still looking to.
Great guy, Mike.
Oh, he's a sweetheart. We love him to death.
We do.
And eventually we hope to get him on the show. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, Mike.
Hey, no, like I said, I spoke to him. I think he's down. We have another subject coming up that I probably don't know as much about, so if you guys are filling in for me, then that'll be good. So, you know.
No, but definitely an interesting subject, and I like when subjects don't always fit everyone's niche perfectly. Mm-hmm. Some things where you might know more than I do. Like, if we do an episode on sports and, like, hanging out and watching sports in the community around, like, you know, fantasy sports.
Yeah. Like,
you have a background in that. I got nothing. I have no idea how that stuff works. And I almost want to learn more about it, and I feel like it'd be a great place to experience it would be on the show. Mm-hmm. I was also going to share, going back to the food stuff just a little bit there, I remember when we had Paula had two of her friends she had met when she was living abroad, two British guys come into town, Adi and Niles, and just, we were trying to think, like, where to take them. We had a few days with them, like, places to go, places to see, and, like, 80% of it was food. Like, you think of Montreal, and it's like, we have some major events. I know the Jazz Fest is coming up.
Yeah.
Have you seen, actually, in the mall we work in, the jazz thing they had going on?
No, I saw your Snapchat.
Okay, yeah, I knew I shared it with. That was really cool. They basically just renovated part of the mall we both work in. For those of you listening, you clearly know this, but I'm still going to repeat it. And I think it was last Friday, was it? But basically, they had, like, renovated a big chunk of the building to give more of a, like, open courtyard in the middle type thing, to give more space. And they set up a bunch of couches and a little stage in the middle, and they had a jazz band performing, like, 2-3 days in a row during the afternoons. And they were really good. Like, I always say, like, I don't love jazz, but I like live jazz.
Well, it is good. There's a lot of craftsman, or not craftsmanship, musicianship that goes into live jazz.
Little glitch in the matrix there. Our apologies. It seems there was a bit of a pause. Jazz. We're talking about jazz.
Jazz.
And I was saying, yes, I don't like jazz. Like, I don't listen to jazz. It's never my go-to.
Mm-hmm.
If I hear it sometimes, like in a video game soundtrack or someone's playing it, whatever. But it's when you see it live, I really seem to enjoy it.
That's fair. There's a lot of music styles that you don't necessarily appreciate as much until you see the actual work that goes into them when you see it live. Or even just when you're exposed to it a little bit more and you just look more into not only the musicianship, again, I'll use the word, and the actual skill taken to play these instruments, but also the cultural and political background that surrounds some of these genres even coming to be.
And I guess that's it too, yeah. Like, I've listened to a lot more at work. A lot of the guys will put on rap in the...
There you go.
When we're doing work, and I just find, like, you know what? Never my thing, but I'm hearing, like... I keep going back to, I think, Fetty Wap is the one I keep hearing.
Fetty Wap.
Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, it is. You are.
Okay, good. Is it Fetty Wap?
I think that it's an open pronunciation.
Okay. He seems the kind of guy who wouldn't mind from what the vibe I get from him in interviews and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know him.
I've seen a few things with him. Like, I know
I know his songs, but...
That's it. Well, he's also that one that has the... someone showed me the clip of him being interviewed by somebody being like, oh, how did you lose your eye? Like, expecting, like, a super gangster story. And he goes, childhood glaucoma.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, okay, let's move on. Like, just totally, like, even you think of, like, if I were a rapper missing an eye, I would probably just play up the story. Like, be like, oh, yeah, no, I lost it, like, you know, in a fight in a bar and some dude, and I saved some shit. Like, you like, play with it, have fun. But he was like, no, I'm serious. It's childhood glaucoma, lost an eye, fuck it. But I keep hearing his music and being like, I actually am starting to enjoy it a bit more. Again, I don't think it would ever hit my usual playlists.
No.
Although I do need to now come up with a good gym playlist, I realize.
I can help you with that.
That should be a little post-show activity. Or if you have any suggestions for good songs to listen to at the gym, tweet me or post them.
Give us some genres that you are generally tending towards.
Yeah, what is your go-to gym genre?
I think it depends for me. Sometimes I'll definitely go for the jock jams, and you'll go hip hop, pure hip hop, just hard hitting, not even listening to the lyrics that much, just want the beat that matches what I'm doing. Hard rock, even trending towards a little bit of a lighter heavy metal. Could definitely do that sometimes. So you know.
But that makes sense for the gym.
And then even sometimes just, I mean, my favorite band right now, and has been for a little while, is Matt and Kim. And they just have upbeat, indie pop, high tempo songs that are just really fun to run to, or to do this. Well, Stairmaster is what I do right now, but to do Stairmaster too. So it really depends on what I'm feeling.
I hear you. I actually today was I had just signed up for the gym and was like, you know what, I'm here now. I have all my stuff with me. I have a towel. I have a change of clothes. Let me just go and do, like, I think I did an hour.
Yeah,
so,
that's usually
30 on the treadmill and 30 just workout.
That's pretty solid of where you want to be.
I think normally I would have probably added an extra, like, 20 at the end of the treadmill again just to cool down.
Yeah,
that was the old habit back at the old gym.
Right.
But one day I knew time was sensitive. I had to come by and meet you. They gave me a coupon for a free sandwich at Dagwood's, actually.
Ooh.
I love a little sandwich on the way home. Little Sammy,
action.
But I did not prepare my playlist, and I was like, I don't really feel like going through music and making a playlist now. I just want to sit down and go.
Yeah.
So, the treadmill experience, actually, I got to thank a buddy of ours, Daniel, for suggesting. I set my incline to whatever I needed it to be at, my speed to whatever I needed to be at, so it was a nice light pace with a good incline, and played 30-odd minutes of Hearthstone on the treadmill.
Oh, then I know which Daniel you're talking about now. Okay.
Exactly.
I'm like, Daniel, we know a couple Daniels. I'm like, oh, wait. The guy who we refer to him as Daniel, and the guy who plays Hearthstone.
Yes, Dr. Dan. You know he's going for a PhD?
I thought he was still going for his master's.
Well, he's doing his master's, but
his
he's
like,
he's got the PhD and everything lined up.
Good for him.
I keep joking, one day he'll be on a plane, and they'll have that cliche movement of, is there a doctor on this plane? And he'll stand up and go, I'm a doctor. Can you save this man's life? No, but I could probably balance his checkbook and get him a few savings.
Yeah, he's going for his doctorate in, I think, finance?
Finance, or the course he's in that I feel is made up, which is econometrics.
Econometrics.
And it's not his end result, but apparently someone who studies econometrics becomes an econometrician. Which just does it not sound like something Homer Simpson would say?
Yes.
I'm an econometrician.
I mean, no offense to Daniel if you're listening to this. I'm sure whatever that is, I admittedly don't know about it, is going to be a lot better than what either of us are doing right now.
Valid point.
So
we'll be sitting here talking into a mic, and he'll be rolling in a pile of Rolls Royces.
Yeah, a pile of Rolls Royces.
Can we break away for a second and talk about... So, we both backed a game on Kickstarter.
Yes.
Called $1 Million Butt, which we do plan on playing on the show one day when we get our copies.
Yeah, hopefully we'll invite a couple friends, too.
Yeah, I think we're really fun. Even if we do it as like a 20-minute post-show, like, add-on type thing.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I kind of like doing the idea of, like, little add-ons at the end of the shows, little alternate bonuses. So, they closed the campaign. They raised over $1 million. It set tons of records on Kickstarter. Super exciting. It's from Rooster Teeth, who's a company we both adore.
They hit their funding goal in 4 minutes.
Seriously. Like the time
backer number 98. I'm very proud of that.
I was like 120 something lollygagged. But I do want to get to, they sort of had a unlisted, so if you ever use Kickstarter, the basic idea is you can donate an amount to the cause and generally get rewarded for it.
Yes.
So in this case, it was very clear you paid X amount, you got the game. You spent a little more, got some bonus cards. A little more, and they had a challenge coin or autographs, or at a certain level, they included tickets to their event, RTX in Austin. I think at like a few thousand, you'd actually get us to come down to their studio and be on an episode of the show $1 Million Butt. Are you pulling up the listing now, or?
Oh, no. Sorry.
Oh, you're looking at other stuff. No, it's okay. We're always on our phones looking at work-related stuff for the podcast. I just want to know if that's what he was doing. Maybe correct me on stuff.
I could, though.
Oh, I mean, we hit them all. The one I really want to talk about, though, is you couldn't actively choose it on Kickstarter. They wouldn't allow it as an option, but they had listed for $1 million a mystery prize. And it really was $1 million mystery prize, and no one knew what it was. So Bernie, one of the founders of Rooster Teeth and one of the main faces of the company, I would say, he was on The Amazing Race. He's the face of this game coming out and all that.
Definitely when you think of Rooster Teeth, you probably think of Bernie.
Probably, I think at this point he's probably
the first guy
synonymous with it. So what I wanted to ask was, did you see him announce what the $1 million would have gotten you?
I did not see it. I heard of it.
So I really hope I still have it open on Reddit, and Reddit didn't crash on me. Okay, so Reddit did close on me at some point today, so I'm going to quickly go to the Rooster Teeth subreddit, and...
In the meantime, I will explain a little bit about what this game is.
Yes, please.
Because $1 Million Butt is a game that is based on their short little show, which is $1 Million Butt, where it's pretty much people sitting around a table or a couch with beers discussing hypothetical situations. It's almost like Would You Rather, but a bit of a twist. It's like, I will give you $1 million, but for the next month, you can only speak in baby talk.
That's it. So the idea basically was, it all spawned from an episode of their podcast where the premise was, you get $1 million, but you're being hunted by a snail. The snail is immortal, and its only goal is to make contact with you, and once it does, you die.
But it's going at the speed of a typical snail.
Yeah.
But it's always hunting you. So you can fly over to Australia and stay there, but the snail will be hunting you. It'll make its way over there in due time.
That's it. Whether it goes underwater or it does actually get onto a boat that it knows is going, it has enough intelligence to try.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting premise, and it then led to a game where, like I said, you'll get a few people sitting around with beers. We recommend looking it up because they actually do basically act out these scenarios. They actually do create small skits based on all those scenarios and kind of have fun with it. And it's really interesting.
Yeah, and we both are getting copies of the game this month.
Yeah.
So our friends can play with us. It's promising to be a fun game.
Yeah. So, like I said, one of their options was a $1 million donation, which nobody made. So they said, because it's done, no one can make it now. We're officially going to announce what you would have gotten for the $1 million. Again, who knows how true this is. Maybe they realized no one took it so we can have a little more fun with it. But I'm going to read off the list. Bernie does a little video, and someone then noted it all down. So, rent at an Austin apartment for a year. Year of employment at Rooster Teeth Productions. A Rolls-Royce Phantom standard package. A PS4, Xbox One, state-of-the-art gaming PC, a Vive headset, an Oculus headset. Dinner with Matt Hullum and Bernie Burns, the two founders of the company. Drinks with Jeff Ramsey. He runs the Achievement Hunter channel and is very famously the drinker.
One of the founders.
He was, I guess he's one of the founders. He's very often associated with it,
yeah.
The item that most touched my heart was a hug from Gus.
Wow. I mean, again, we're being
we're on a very particularly specific subject. For those of you who might
Yeah.
know the series, will suddenly realize how amazing that is.
Yeah.
Gavin Free shares one personal feeling with you. A short from the company based on you, so one of their animated shorts or one of their live action shorts based on you.
Yeah.
Guest appearance on one of their podcasts. 2 VIP tickets to RTX, their annual event in Austin, for the next 10 years.
Wow.
A minor speaking role in any sequel to the movie Laser Team, which is the movie they actually crowdfunded last year that got produced. Another fantastic piece of theirs.
Yeah.
Jack Patillo's phone number.
Oh, well. That's an inside joke.
That's an inside joke. Nice dinner with Barbara or Blaine or Bernie if you're into that. I would obviously choose Barbara because she's the Montrealer.
Oh, it'd be tough for me between Barbara and Blaine.
Really? Not Bernie? I feel like Bernie's the debate at that point. Like, I love Blaine, but like...
I like Blaine. He's cool,
Barbara.
but I'd probably choose Barbara at the end because
That's
again,
it.
Montreal connection.
And may I add a striptease by Josh Flanagan. The big bear of a man.
That's the real goal there.
A 1 hour petting zoo featuring all the RT pets. Because a lot of them have their dogs and their pets.
No, going back to the Bernie thing, wasn't there a dinner with Bernie and Matt earlier on in the
Oh yes, you can have another dinner with Bernie.
I
want a private dinner with you after this. Get out of here, Matt. So yeah, a lot of them have their pets that stay around the office, and some of the pets that often they'll talk about on their shows. So a 1 hour petting zoo featuring all the RT pets. A 1 minute petting zoo featuring all the Achievement Hunter crew. Which I thought was adorable.
I don't know if I... Wow, 1 minute.
I don't know.
There's a lot you can do in 1 minute.
There's a lot of Jack to pet.
There's a lot of Jack to pet.
Complete power to renew or cancel on the spot. One of their game shows they do.
I know what I'd do.
And a copy of the card game.
Oh, well. I mean, of course.
At least. Funny, though, someone else actually on the Reddit went afterwards and priced this all out. And giving vague numbers and rounding would come up to about $490,000.
So it's not worth it.
But I mean, I don't know. I guess some of the experiential stuff that you would never get otherwise.
Yeah.
I mean, really, if you have $1 million, I feel like you can do a lot of those things.
If we're still going on it, I believe they mentioned there were like 17 or 18 serious inquiries into the $1 million.
Really, I didn't hear this.
But no one bit on the actual. So apparently, Rooster Teeth has some well-off fans.
I could see that. I mean, like, look at someone. I give an example of, and I always go back to my favorite comedian, Chris Hardwick, who's done very well for himself. If you've ever heard of him, it's because he's probably hosted one of the millions of panels at a million Comic-Cons he's been to, or his after show for The Walking Dead called The Talking Dead, or his Comedy Central show at midnight, or the list goes on. He's the kind of person who's into that kind of stuff and probably could muster $1 million to donate.
Probably.
But then again, based on all this, like, is it really worth it? I mean, if I had $1 million, would you do it for $1 million?
If I had more than $1 million, if I had just $1 million, I would not spend it all on.
Valid.
But if I had enough money where $1 million became, yeah, I'd probably do it.
You know, I'm surprised they didn't. No one tried to do the like a group of people put in together for it. Like, you know, like a group of like I'm sure they have some. Like, you see them whenever they do their podcast live. They always have like shout outs to the groups watching together.
Yeah.
Get a good group of like 30 or 40 people who all have like good paying jobs and like decent salaries. Chip in together, make $1 million. True. Donate it as a group, and then like split the prizes evenly. Like, okay, the apartment, we can take it in turns going there and staying in Austin for a bit, or the Rolls Royce. Okay, we take turns with it, or we eventually sell it and make the money back, kind of thing. If we get No, I feel like it could have been done. I'm surprised no one tried to.
No one tried to, but all that to say, what were we talking about?
We're always speaking of something, are we?
Yeah.
I did want to apologize for being late today, though. I had a very fun. My building, the buzzer goes to my fiance's phone. So if she's not home, I have to actually go let people in old school style. Like a freaking caveman.
Cavemen eating rocks. Cavemen eating rocks.
What? But I wanted to apologize. The reason I am late, and I mentioned this slightly earlier, was a conversation I got into with the woman who got me my gym membership when we signed me up there, this lovely lady.
Yes.
About why she'd upgraded her phone from a BlackBerry to a smartphone was because she wanted a front-facing camera.
I like how you don't consider a BlackBerry a smartphone.
I really don't. If your web content is purely text-based, then it is not a smartphone. You are a phone that can do email and maybe a calculator if you're lucky.
It's true. I don't know if I would call a BlackBerry a smartphone now that I think about it.
I feel like a few of the newer models they released, like right towards, really, when was the last new BlackBerry released?
I don't pay attention to what BlackBerry does. It's sad because they're a Canadian company and I gotta support them.
I always forget that.
Yeah, well, everyone forgets it because they used to be RIM,
Yeah.
And then they just changed to BlackBerry because that's what everyone knew them as.
Something in motion. Research in motion.
Research in motion.
RIM.
Yes.
It's a terrible acronym.
RIM.
Ugh.
So I'm going to make the inevitable if I'm looking for a job at RIM.
I knew this would make the joke some more. Thank you very much.
What makes you qualified to get a RIM job? Well,
I bleached recently.
I shower every day.
Oh, God.
You're hired.
I bet that's all you really need at that point. This company, they're desperate.
Yep.
No, but like, I remember like maybe
than...
3 or 4 years ago, someone I knew had bought a BlackBerry phone just because they were a supporter of them still, and it was closer to an Android phone was maybe like 5-6 years ago. Like it had like web browsing and like digital, like everything kind of worked. It had internet access and stuff.
My mom does still have a BlackBerry. She's the only holdout. The rest of the house is iPhone. She is the only BlackBerry. I think she's every now and then she'll be like, I want to get an iPhone. I want to get an iPhone, but I think she's too into the physical keyboard still. I think that's her main
I think
thing.
most people's holdout.
I get it. Like it took a while. I mean, my first iPhone, I've been on iPhone for several years now. My first iPhone was a 3GS. Before that, it was, flip phones, where it was not even just every key had its own button, but it was the T9 keyboard. You had to press the buttons 3 times, and, like, it sort of predicted what words you were going to say.
Yeah, I think we brought something on a previous episode, and I was like, I could never do that. Like, I'd watch girls in class, like, under the desk typing, and I'm like, really?
Mm-hmm.
I have to, like, plan out every sentence.
It's a lot.
Like, I hated that stuff. Like, I was like, if my text was more than 3 words, you knew I was involved. Otherwise, it was like, okay. Not even, it was K. Fuck it, no one got the O out of me. So, curious, I see you typing over there. Not calling you out, actually, question about typing. Can you type on your iPhone without looking at the keyboard?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. I have a pretty solid success rate of being able to type.
As you know, I do not.
That's true.
I think I made the comment yesterday. I was out at the bar and I made, I think, 3 tweets and a Facebook post over the course of the evening, like pre-drinking, and I spelled something wrong in every single one of them. And I proofread like 3 of them. I
mean, when I told you I was coming over, you wrote, and I quote...
Oh God, please don't.
Cool, just eating and showing. Be ready in a few.
It was showering.
I figured that out.
God damn it. I know Paula has one saved on her phone somewhere. I think she screenshotted for safety where I had like used Siri like text speech to text to say something. I remember the exact thing was something to do with the like they'd come by and scotch guard to the couch. It's all ready. We can't sit in it for like 24 hours. And somehow it got like just so absolute like bollocks.
Oh God.
And she was like, I don't even know. Like it's gotten to the point where most people read my typos and go, okay, I can figure out what he meant. But then there was the one too where I think I had messaged. Oh, I can't remember who it was. Someone yesterday showed me the phone saying like, "You texted me this," and I looked at the text and I was like, "Yeah, I have no idea. I legitimately could not in context." Like, and it's I don't know what it is. It's just like whether autocorrect hits me sometimes or like the typo would have been better without it, or just I just hit the wrong letter and really screwed the word up. But I'm pretty bad at that, so I'm amazed when people tell me they can type. They can basically touch type without seeing the keyboard. Like, do you type without looking at the keyboard on a computer? Like, you just...
I've gotten to a point where I can do it.
Oh, really?
And
I still have to, like, peek every few seconds. Like, even today, I was putting in, like, my phone number or my credit card number as I was getting the gym membership.
Oh, no, I peek every few seconds. Don't get me wrong. But I'm pretty comfortable with it. You know, a lifetime of typing. I'm an English major, right? So paper writing is just...
I guess, too. But even me, like, I can't. I have to be looking at the keyboard. I can type fairly quickly, and I can, like, my words per minute can get high enough even without looking at some things, but, like, to comfortably type, I have to look at the keyboard directly.
Yeah.
And I feel like that might hinder my typing a little bit. But, very weird. So I did bring up this weird chain of smartphone events, because I wanted to get back to, I've never heard of somebody making the switch to a newer phone, and the selling feature to them was the FaceTime or the front-facing camera for selfies. And speaking of which...
Selfie sticks.
Selfies and selfie sticks. I want to expand. I want to be very open. Sticks. So I've also hit... on the way to the gym, went to get a lock for my locker. They were right next to the selfie sticks. I was so tempted to grab us one, but I could not for the life of me bear to spend $2.50 before tax on a selfie stick for a joke. I was like, you know what? No, beers are more important.
Some jokes go too far.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this is my topic, right? This is my choice.
Yes, as we've discovered our new habit of one person buys beers, one person picks topic.
It works.
It seems like a really raw deal.
I opened a beer a little while ago.
Yeah, and didn't hear a thing.
Sound. I think you're just loud.
Just even my beers are loud.
Anyway.
So selfies and selfie sticks. Yes.
Selfies and selfie sticks. This one just came to my mind. I was thinking of a topic. I had a topic at one point.
Yeah, we had a previous one, which some people we speak to may have heard us talk about it and given us some input.
I think you wanted to do that one next week.
I think we'll push that to next week. We'll forget about it for now. We'll talk about it later.
But it came to my mind suddenly. It's just like, you know what? I got a lot to say about selfie sticks, and I'm sure other people do too.
So that's why I'm really curious again. I like when someone picks the topic because there seems to be there's a reason why it was on that list. Mm-hmm. And I mean, a majority of the list are yours, and I feel like a lot of them I still have a connection to. Yeah. So for me, selfie sticks, up until maybe a few hours ago, I definitely would have been on the side I think you're on, which is I can't stand them. They're such a terrible, weird invention. I think they're just... There's something you just actively dislike people when they have them. You see someone use them, and you're just like...
Is that the side you think I'm on?
Oh, no?
I own a selfie stick.
Oh, dude, I'm embarrassed to... Not for you, no. I meant embarrassed. I assumed the other way.
I have a selfie stick for my GoPro.
Okay.
Which apparently is slightly more acceptable.
Yeah, weirdly enough, it is.
But I don't know. I definitely used to be, and I think most people started out being selfie sticks. Just another, I'm old and people are young and they do these things. Yeah. But it's funny. I didn't bring it to my Europe trip last year, but of course they were everywhere. Whenever you went to any somewhat famous landmark, you had tourists with selfie sticks all over the place, and it would be very easy for me to think these things are terrible. As Dario, our friend Dario says, selfie sticks should be used to beat their owners.
Yeah, and I think that's the majority of people's opinion on them. I think that's the gist I get from most people. But funny enough, a lot of the comments I got this week were a little bit eye-opening.
Exactly. My thought, and I'll continue where I was going.
Yeah, please continue.
The more I thought about it, the more I was thinking, what's the difference between using a selfie stick to take a picture of yourself or just going up to a random stranger and saying, hey, can you take my picture real quick? Well, the random stranger might, I'm not saying everyone will do it, but the random stranger could just say, all right, cool, free phone, and run away.
And this is actually what one of my discussions, actually, with Paul, of all people, did bring up, and it was we live in a day and age where it's not just handing someone a camera. A camera, it's expensive. A camera might be up to $500, $600, $1,000, but it's a camera. It's replaceable. Yeah. As much as your phone might be backed up, it really isn't. It's extension. Your phone's very much an extension of you. Well, to hand someone your phone, to literally just give it to a person you don't know, takes a lot.
It's a lot. It's not just it's not just for calling and texting. I mean, I'll just look at my apps right now. Obviously, my pictures, my notes are on here. All my contacts are on here. Facebook, I'm automatically logged in. My Instagram, I'm automatically logged in. Twitter, automatically logged in.
Dude, you have Apple Pay on this thing now. You've got your credit card linked to your phone now.
That's it. There's so many aspects of my personal life that are on this phone. We can have a whole podcast dedicated to this on its own.
Heck, just our home screen on our phone could be a whole episode.
That's it.
In fact, remind me to put that on the list later.
Okay.
Apps. I like this one. Yes.
Good idea. To hand that over to a stranger is a lot more of an involved thing than just say, here's my camera. It's not that anymore. And honestly, that's not even it now. That's more another reason, but I guess the thought is, again, what's the difference between asking someone to take your picture and taking the picture yourself?
At the same time, I also feel like it's two different mediums almost. There's photography, and then there's selfie photography. Right. I am someone who, and in my schooling, I did study photography and video, so composing a photo, framing of a photo. One of my weird pet peeves is when I get handed a camera, especially a smartphone camera, that doesn't have the grid enabled. Because as much as I know my grid pretty much by heart at this point, having it there to physically line things up and straighten out a photo are almost a necessity to me. Because if they're not there and my photo ends up being a little crooked, I will hate it. Okay. Like, I don't know if you remember, for a while, and I still do once in a blue moon, outside my fiance's parents' house, there is a lovely view of the water on Long Lake Shore.
Yeah.
And that one tree I photographed maybe 4,000 times.
Yeah. Your tree.
My tree.
Your tree.
I know exactly where to line that tree up on that grid so that it is roughly the same position every photo.
Follow @BoxlessThought on Instagram if you want to see 20,000 tree pictures.
I don't go to her parents as often.
Sometimes he puts filters on them, sometimes. But I guess the selfie stick conversation for me ties into a bigger conversation that I actually had put on the list earlier, which you can probably take off because I think we're going to cover it at a certain point in this podcast, that selfies and selfie sticks are tied into this implicit narcissism that people associate with social media in general, where we take the best parts of our lives and broadcast them for our friends and family to see.
And that's it. I think a lot of apps today also sort of accentuate this. I mean, Snapchat is literally the... Funny, looking through my Snapchat today, actually, I rarely check Snapchat. It's one of those services that I'll check randomly. And kind of like I'm in bed, I don't really want to get out of bed yet, I've checked Twitter already. I'll check Snapchat, see what's going on, just to kill some time.
Yeah.
I think like today was the perfect mix of people showing off their travel, their adventure, the party they're at, the food they're eating, or themselves at these crazy parties and events. It very much is a way of showing off the best parts of your life. Or it's my cousin Nick showing me his feet and his bunny for a solid 40 seconds, and a friend singing in the shower.
Yeah.
It really, I feel like it's gotten to the point now where we post ourselves on social media doing the best of the best, but we've also gotten so used to posting ourselves that we'll post ourselves doing pretty much anything at this point.
Yes. And so I guess my thought is selfie sticks have sort of become this scapegoat, and that's where all of the issues stem from these little metal rods that you can buy for $250 at
$250. That was a plastic one. Metal ones were cost $3.
Yeah, I think my selfie stick for my GoPro was $10.
Well, they have a little bit more support then. They probably have a little bit more balance.
Yeah, actually, funny story about my selfie stick.
Please.
I ordered one from China,
and
I'm like, oh well, this is bullshit. I'm gonna order another one. They both showed up on the same day. They were the exact same selfie stick, so I had two identical selfie sticks in my house. I'm like, well, I'm either gonna have to burn my house down, or
sorry, the escalation of that was brilliant.
Or I'm gonna have to give one. I think I gave one to our friend. God, I can't remember if it was either Kevin, Mexican Kevin, not French Kevin,
or two Kevins,
and Mike, Tattoo Mike. I don't want to give people's last names away because
No, I agree. It's one of those habits I know we want to get out of. Is not revealing people, but let people know who we're talking about to themselves. A combination of that.
I don't remember which one it was. I want to say it might have been Mike, because he has a GoPro.
And that makes sense.
So I gave mine to him.
That was the one that when I took the GoPro to Hawaii, I didn't have a selfie stick for it, and I didn't really bother because I knew that... And I mean, it's kind of funny if you go through any of my social media and look at especially the trip to Italy I did last summer with Paula and her family.
Yeah.
There was a good chunk of it where it was myself, Paula, her sister, and one of our friends, her sister's best friend and roommate. Mm-hmm. And every single one of the photos, selfies, it's always me at the end because I have the longest arms taking the selfie. And I realized as much as I hate the selfie stick, and I mean as much as, again, the reason I was kind of turned around on it, my opinion has changed in the last recent day or two, was really just the idea of you're nervous handing your phone to somebody. It lets you get away with that. Yeah. Yes, it's become the scapegoat for the hate and the narcissism, where in the reality is it's the person behind the stick, not the stick itself. Mm-hmm. Unless it's an iPad on a selfie stick, in which case, no shame. That is shameful.
That's weird.
That is weird.
I haven't seen that.
We saw.
You've seen an iPad on
we were sitting in Quebec City, and the girl had a iPad mini on the end of a selfie stick, swung over her shoulder like a hobo with a bindle.
Oh god, like one of those. I'm picturing it right
literally,
now.
It was the most cliche.
I'm picturing her with a 5 o'clock shadow.
And, no!
Ripped shoes.
She was the most cliche Asian schoolgirl, in the literally Sailor Moon uniform, with the scarf around the neck and the pink skirt. She could have been in a Hello Kitty music video at this point,
or an Avril Lavigne music video,
or that one. She looked like one of the girls in that video, but just the I don't think it was necessarily an iPad per se. It was something about the size of an iPad mini or an iPad. One of the things was a Samsung tablet.
Might have been.
In a case attached, like a big heavy case attached to the selfie stick, just over her shoulder, walking down the street with 3 of her friends, and I was just like, I don't like you. I really don't like you. Sorry, people taking photos with iPads just bugs me.
Yeah, I mean, especially in public venues. Where
Yeah, it's just like, oh, the judgment.
But I mean, going to the narcissism thing on social media.
I keep jumping around. Sorry, so many things.
No, that's fine. We can always come back to it, right? It's like, I'm thinking about it, and that as much as, yes, there are people out there who take 20,000 selfies of themselves in their bedroom and be like, I'm so ugly and whatever, and you have, all their friends come in and say, oh, you're not ugly, and they know they're not ugly.
They just want the validation.
But at the same time, social media narcissism has actually been used in great ways. And I think the greatest example is something we both took part in, which is the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
Oh, yeah, you know what? They're total guilt.
You nominated me for that one, actually, bud.
I filmed you doing it, too, as a bonus.
The ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, a lot of people started to hate on it because it's like, oh, well, some people are just pouring ice on themselves because they want to be seen pouring ice on themselves. I'm like, well, yeah, that's sort of the point. ALS is not like a cancer. It's not like a heart disease. It's not like a, AIDS, HIV. Mm-hmm. It's a lesser known, it's not a quote-unquote sexy disease. It's very much a disease that did not get a lot of... Sorry, that was a terrible...
No, but it's true. It's like, I hear it a lot. Instead of a sexy disease, it just makes me laugh so hard.
Yeah, I know. It's a terrible
I suffer from a sexy learning disorder. What do I call it, Kif?
Sexlexia. Oh, God.
Sorry, carry on with your point. Yes, ALS.
But yes, I mean, the point was to raise awareness for ALS.
And that was it.
The point was to, and yes, there were a lot of people. I mean, how much money was it? $100 and something million. And do you think people receiving that money cared that the people doing it were doing it maybe somewhat to be seen doing it? Probably not. The value of $1 that was donated out of less than altruistic interest is not less than the value of $1 that is donated just out of the good of your heart.
And that's it. And there was a lot of people too who I know personally who both did the challenge and still made a donation because they wanted to still do something good. High five, same here. Yeah. My mom and he made a little donation, so did you.
Yeah, but no, that's it. It's like some people did do the I'm gonna donate and do the ice because it was fun. It was a fun thing to do. It
was fun. It was silly. It got the word out there. And I mean, it's like you said, they did show the numbers. I can't remember at some point someone had made the comment of like, oh, it's all just so narcissistic. It's all just publicity. Like no one's actually raising money. And someone put up the numbers of like rough donation totals made in like the 3 years previously and that year, and it was like quadruple the amount.
Yeah, and like it or not, even though maybe I'm guessing donations have probably slowed compared to that because that was just such an intense challenge and an intense movement. Mm-hmm. But you better believe people out there know about ALS now. They're aware of it.
And that's it. It's probably still more in the common lexicon of diseases we speak of because of this challenge still. Mm-hmm. It may not be making as much as it did when the challenge was big. Was it 2 years ago the challenge, really?
Yeah.
But I'm willing to bet if we pulled up the numbers, it's still higher than it was before the challenge, and it's still more well-known. People have heard of it and at least have a vague idea of what it is or know of it a little bit.
Absolutely.
And there are even some people, too, I recall, who did the challenge, and prior to doing it, gave a little, like, this is what ALS is, this is where this money is going. Like, made it like, hey, you're going to watch me pour ice in my head like an idiot, at least learn something.
That's it. So, I guess...
tons of respect for that.
Tying it back into selfie sticks, and tying it back into... There's this big thought that people wanting to be seen is a bad thing. People wanting to broadcast themselves is a bad thing. We're broadcasting ourselves right now.
And that's it. And I will admit that part of the reason always wanted to run a podcast, there are two major parts. Is one, I've enjoyed the medium and wanted to take part of it. I enjoy sharing my thoughts and getting intelligent discussion going.
Yeah.
But I also have the dream of one day getting into voice acting.
There you go.
And this is a great tool to further not only my practice, I get to re-listen to the show, catch where I mumble more, where I don't enunciate or pronounce, or make up words like pronunciate.
Pronunciate. I mean, I always loved to, like, the idea of getting into the entertainment industry as well.
Oh, that's it. Like, my dream
cool.
is to eventually work at Ubisoft as a voice actor, even if it's just grunting as I get shot by a hitman or assassinated by an assassin.
That was you!
I ever tell you that I once actually met one of the guys who played one of the main villains in an Assassin's Creed series?
No.
They were two teachers, I believe, from McGill. And like in the theater department, I'd met them working at an old job at Best Buy selling them a TV. And we were talking about it, and somehow it came up, and I was like, "Oh, you guys were voice actors for Assassin's Creed?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I'm playing it now." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I play so and so character, the one you assassinated on the boat." And I was like, "I shot you last night." And then my boss turned to me, and I was like,
I can explain.
Running."
But yeah, no, that's exactly it. Is that. And I guess I can even go even more philosophical and say, is there really anything that we do that isn't somewhat self-serving in a way?
To tie this into a very fun moment on Friends, actually, they bring this up quite nicely, where Joey challenges Phoebe that there is no such thing as a selfless deed.
Mm-hmm.
Because even the act of doing something selfless makes you happy, thus, you've done a good deed.
Exactly.
And you've made yourself feel better, and you've served yourself in some way. And I can't remember how the episode ends, honestly. I think I may have fallen asleep or
either
walked
way,
away.
the idea is that even if I do something that on the surface appears completely in the service of others, the act of helping others or helping those I care about, so if I do something for a good friend, a family member, a loved one, anyone who I have a strong connection with, who I enjoy helping out, the good feeling that I get of helping them and making them feel good, I guess you can argue, I mean, again, it's such a philosophical conversation, probably way above our level here.
Yeah.
The act of doing something that makes ourselves feel good, even if it is in the service of others, makes it somewhat self-serving.
That's it. And I'm not going to sit here and kind of bash narcissism. I feel you do what you do because you want to do it.
Yes.
The better the thing is for the world around you, yay. If it's really just for yourself but doesn't harm anyone else, there's no harm. Why complain?
That's it. If you don't like when someone is using a selfie stick, I mean, yes, they're a little annoying to walk around. It's a little more of a wide berth you have to give people who are using a selfie stick. But at the same time, you can still walk around them. And in fact, they're using a selfie stick. The alternative is they disrupt you and say, "Excuse me, can you take our picture?"
Yeah.
And they have to take like 5 to 6, 7 pictures for them.
And on that note, too, so 2 more things with selfie sticks I wanted to get on, too, was one of the comments that came up was, again, how much they have become so popular. They are now the thing being sold in tourist spots.
Yeah.
So if anyone's ever gone to, and I give the cliche, the Eiffel Tower, or we were in Italy at just whatever landmark, there is always people there trying to sell selfie sticks.
Yeah.
Like, it amazed me. Like, I'd been to Europe twice, and it was almost a 5-year gap between the 2 trips. And the first time there was, like, bracelets, keychains, and beads. The next time, it was, like, selfie sticks. Some dude was selling little, like, miniature remote-control helicopters. And it's, like, it's truly evolved what people will try to sell you. And I realized now, sometimes, like, it does make sense, because people don't want to give their phone away. They want to take a picture of themselves there. Conveniently, I've got stupidly long arms, so I don't need one, but I can see the benefit of them more and more these days.
Yeah. One of my favorite photos from my Euro trip last year was when I was in Cologne. We were on the bridge over the Rhine, Rhein River. And so one of the guys I met there, he was taller than the rest of us, so he held his phone out and took a picture of the 4 of us with the the big cathedral in the background on the sunset. Beautiful picture. I'll probably post up on Instagram.
I've never seen it
as a hashtag Throwback Thursday.
Ah, yes.
And so, I mean, don't complain about narcissism and have an Instagram account, first of all.
Yeah, and that actually ties to, I wanted to share one of the comments we got in from one of our lovely listeners, Lil. Hello, Lil.
Hi, Lil. I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
Hashtag I'm fine. Is that going to be our new thing? I love it.
Do it.
So, a few messages from Lil, and essentially to sum up, it really comes down to take the photo for you. If you have a selfie stick, take photos of yourself in these locations, and this actually goes to something I was always told by my mother, because I would come home from school trips or getaways or a weekend away, and I would take thousands of photos. And she'd go, there's no pictures of you.
Yeah.
And I realized, like, you know what? That's like what your parents want. You come home from like a weekend at the zoo in Toronto, and your parents are like, great, a turkey. Where are you? Great, waterfalls. Did you enjoy them? Do you have a picture of you? And that was something as a kid you really had. You bought like a disposable camera, and you couldn't really take a selfie. How are you going to do it?
That's it. Thinking back to my Euro trip, I have 2 pictures of myself. One at the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin, and one in New Haven and Copenhagen. And I took a selfie at the airport before I got on my flight from Montreal to Brussels. And the rest is buildings and landmarks, half of which I do not remember what they are.
And that's it. They're lovely photos to have. I like taking ones of interesting buildings, interesting architecture, landmarks. But my mother really instilled in me, like, you should take photos yourself. And I mean, traveling mostly with my fiance, we love taking good photos together. And I just, for her birthday a few days ago, I posted a lovely collection of 4 photos of us taking different photos together.
Saw that.
A combination of selfies, and we had actually asked strangers to take photos of us. We're daring like that. We'll still do that sometimes.
Do you like to live dangerously?
Yes.
But, yeah, I agree with what Lil said. Take photos for you and post them on social media. If someone really has enough time on their hands to call you out and be like, you're so self-centered. Going back to what I said on the Girly Drinks podcast.
Why are you listening to them?
That's it. They have nothing else going on in their lives except to try and bring you down.
Yeah, fuck people like that.
Yeah. I mean, in fact, go on Reddit. Going back to our last week's podcast, go on Reddit and you will find pictures in like history porn or like old school cool. Like some of the first pictures ever taken were selfies.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Because you know what? I don't just want a picture of this landmark. I want a picture of myself in this landmark.
That's it. You want to remember it. You want to remember you were there. Yeah.
And if I post that on social media and I post that and say, look, I was here, people are going to like it. People are going to hate it.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to say, oh, you know, he's begging for attention. But you know what? Begging for attention has become this instantly negative thing. And of course, there's overdoing it. Of course, we all know people who maybe overdo it.
Yeah, I know. I think we all have the few people who just, you know, get too into themselves, take too many photos of themselves, share too much.
But if every now and then you post a selfie or you take a selfie and you use a device meant to actually maybe get more of what's behind you,
take a better photo, be able to angle it more, be able to get more people into the photo.
Is that really the downfall of mankind as people are making it out to be?
Some people would say it is. I also want to throw in another one. Lil had another comment. I want to see.
Yes.
I also want to answer the question, but she poses the question, which is, would you still take the selfies if you didn't have social media on which to post it?
Ooh.
And I think going back to my mother, I would, because even if the photos are just for you,
yeah.
In 30 years, I can Google a picture of the Eiffel Tower. There'll be billions of pictures better than mine.
That's it.
Maybe not even as good as mine. Maybe mine's a better picture, but it's a photo of a building that'll be there. Likely 1,000 years from now. I mean, I hope. It's a beautiful, gorgeous structure.
We won't know either way, right?
And the photos will always exist. No one's going to go through the internet and delete every single photo of the Eiffel Tower that ever existed. That would be
unless France goes through like this North Korea type regime that I'm now banned from our Pyongyang. Anyway, no, I don't take that many selfies to begin with. The selfies I take are with my GoPro because when I'm, let's say, generally when I bring my GoPro, it's because I'm going hiking somewhere. Mm-hmm. And so I want to take a picture of myself with the view behind me.
And that's it. Like, I remember when I did have the GoPro, I borrowed a friend's GoPro to take to Hawaii, and we did go snorkeling.
Did you borrow mine?
No, a friend of ours.
Our friend Justin borrowed mine.
No, I mean, I borrowed it from one of the Starbucks girls.
You're right.
But it was because I know I want to go, do some snorkeling and get some photos underwater, so they come with a waterproof case and a bunch of the stuff. I couldn't figure out what that orange foam pad on the back of the case did the entire trip. I never used it because I knew what it was, and finally explained this with floats. Yeah. Which would have been smart underwater. I had the strap on the wrist, so I wouldn't lose it. But again, I was able to I digress. While underwater, while swimming with Paula, I was able to turn the camera on us, or film her, or film us together underwater, because as much as fish are lovely, and I saw some great coral, it's the two of us experiencing something so different and amazing. Yeah. I mean, I went through my phone and I found pictures of me skydiving. And to be able to turn to a friend at the bar yesterday and go, look at this photo, and they look at my phone and go, is it you skydiving? That's a great moment to have. And yeah, it's a little self-serving, and let me show off a thing I did. But it's, hey, I did this.
Yeah.
I could just as easily, and I'll point at it right on the wall there, that thing hanging next to the
I
two
did
paintings.
actually notice that.
That is my certificate of skydiving, my first solo jump.
I was looking at that earlier, but I don't know. I think
not as lofty as a photo of me doing it.
still, again, I guess selfie sticks have become, again, this like scapegoat
Yes.
for all that is bad with the younger generation. And like selfie sticks become this paragon. You know, selfie sticks along with, you know, I can't even think of other examples, but
no, know what the new one is now?
What?
And a few of our coworkers are guilty of this, and I totally respect it. The case for the iPhone that has the flash on the front now. Have you seen these?
Oh, Nima had one of those.
Yeah.
He got it from Dubai.
Yeah, I've seen more of them. I've seen customers of them too, where essentially it's a case for the iPhone that extends on the edges and it gives like a border of LEDs,
It's
like
almost
slightly
like you
masked.
have, like if you're one of those actresses in those feature films, and you have those little bulbs around your mirror. It's like one of those.
Yeah, so our ring light when we did the when George and I shot that video with everyone for the shaving our heads.
Oh, I did a photo shoot with George, and I brought my dog to a photo shoot with George. So if you want narcissism, there it is.
Dog narcissism is the best narcissism.
Oh my! If anyone follows me on Snapchat right now, my Snapchat story is a picture of all three of my dogs cuddling.
They are so cute. I
They
was in love with that.
And they're never like.
That is the only thing I say Snapchat needs, and I'm gonna sit here on my high horse of Snapchattery. The only thing that Snapchat doesn't have, I wish it did, was just a way to respond to a photo. Like, as much as we complain that likes was just a BS thing on like Facebook,
You can respond to a photo.
you can like a slide up to chat kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think, but I would just love to be able to like double tap or when I'm on a photo, like whatever gesture, like a slide up from the middle or something, or like a hold it while you're watching it, just to give it like a little like thumbs up or like a smiley face, just so
Like a live.
just so you get a notification like so and so watched your story and really liked your photo. Like,
Okay, I understand.
and I feel like that's again kind of the narcissism is because I not that I want the feedback, but that I like to share it. I want to be able to say like I saw that photo and loved it. But I feel weird going to text you saying, "Hey, you know your Snapchat from like last night, you at the bar, great photo,
Great stuff, man. I love your work. It's fantastic. Big fan. Big fan. Who are you?
I really want to know someone to get Snapchat famous. I'm sure people have. I'm sure the term is not coining a term.
Celebrities have. I mean, DJ Khaled would probably be the best example of someone who's Snapchat.
Yeah, I guess. And I'm
famous.
sure a lot
more
of
people know his Snapchat stuff than they know his actual music.
I only vaguely know the name. She'll show me a
This
snap.
one who's all I do is win.
Okay, yeah.
That's probably the most.
But I would love someone to get Snapchat famous and then actively go around doing autographs with disappearing ink. Would you sign
In
my
10
something?
seconds, it goes away. And you can never get it back.
But then you just Snapchat the thing. Oh, wait, no. Then the whole thing goes in a circle.
Yeah.
It's
But at the
super
same
fun.
time, again, I guess we're getting to an hour.
Yeah, we're hitting the silly point of the show.
Yeah. Like, we've already had a couple beers, so...
I'm still on my second one. You're beating me for
Are
once.
you? I'm almost finished my third.
Yeah, third isn't even open
I'm a
yet.
quick drinker. We all know this.
Yeah, but I've been a little slow today, I guess.
But I guess if I were to say a thing to finish up on selfie sticks, it's that they are somewhat representative of just the influence of social media that it has on our lives and the need to publicize things that are going on with each and every one of us, in the sense that we can't just do something. We have to be seen doing something. And honestly, I don't think that's something that has just come up in this generation. It's something that's always been present.
I mean, your parents, I guarantee you ask them, they still have photos of you at your first birthday. They still have photos of you being born.
Oh,
they
my
even
parents-
have videos of their stuff.
My parents had no life when I was born. Like, I was the firstborn. They even told, like, we watched home videos of me, and my dad looks at me, he's like, yeah, we had no life when you were born.
And I mean, I'm sure a lot of parents would be on that same page, and I just feel like it's, again, because we've advanced in technology where it used to be, here's photos from my birthday or that trip. We now have the phone in our pocket. We have the selfie stick right beside us.
Yeah.
We can now be sitting anywhere doing anything and go, let's capture this moment.
That's it. And I don't want to be the guy taking the picture where everyone else gets together and like, oh, where was I? Oh, I was taking the picture. I drew the short straw. I
Yeah.
want to be there with my friends. Like a home video, when am I going to sit down and watch a home video? My parents probably didn't watch those home videos with me until that time.
Oh, yeah, no. We recently went back and rewatched a few because Paula wanted to see some old videos.
That's it. How often do you go back? Whereas with an Instagram account now,
Oh,
you
yeah,
can
I'll
just
scroll
slide
back.
through everything. Yeah, I will scroll back also and see what things did I take pictures of back in the day.
I
Even my
literally
Photos
just
app.
said it. I went to my Photos app, and with the iPhone 6S, you can force touch and show me photos from a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
There was an entire app dedicated to it for a while that was really popular that I'm forgetting the name of now. Had a really cute dinosaur as their little character.
Yeah, you're not going to get any help from me here.
Oh, fuck. Paula loved it. We were using it forever, and it was like, it would just show you, like...
Dino photo hop. Time travel?
Oh, I think we call Time Hop. You're right.
Oh, okay. Well,
You actually got it! No, but it was the whole premise was you linked your like Photos app, your Twitter, your Facebook, and any other social media, and it would just show you a year ago today what you were doing.
I mean, Facebook does that now.
They've now adopted it, and I think that's why I got
Yeah.
rid of it. My favorite was on that app, though. I think it was like Valentine's Day.
Okay.
It was like are you sure you want to do this? Like, you know it's going to be photos of you with your ex. Are you sure? Or just look at pictures of kittens today, and you have like the two options.
Oh, God.
It was really funny. We should start wrapping up.
Yes.
We are at the hour mark. Again, in closing remarks, you pretty summed it up there. We live in a world where we have the ability, we have the tools to better share the stuff. And I think going back to the slang one from last time, is the younger generations, the generations that are now below us, the teens coming out of high school now, there'll be new technology. There'll be new ways of broadcasting. Like, I never got into the whole Periscope thing, but I know that's being picked up like
That's
crazy
the thing.
now.
It's not that we're more narcissistic than we were before. It's that we have more ways in which to
embrace it.
Embrace it and display it. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a sign of the downfall of humanity, as some people like to say. It's really just people being people. Like,
That's it.
And it's not just kids doing it. Like, I know some older people on Facebook who will just take pictures of themselves. And the first thought is, aren't you 42?
Hey, but you know what? If you're proud of who you are and you
That's
have
it.
a good
And
photo
then you
of
think,
yourself,
you know
share
what?
it.
Yeah, that's it. What harm does it do to me? I can scroll past. I can even... Facebook lets you hide or unfollow people if you really
I've
don't
abused that feature.
I went through a couple weeks ago and unfollowed like a dozen people. Just people who are overly, like... People who share things way too much. People who, like, sexist and a little racist stuff.
Oh,
It's
bigotry
just, like,
and all
too
that. Or
much.
sharing the bullshit posts like the, share this or they'll turn your account off.
And it's like, why don't you just unfriend them? Well, I don't know. I don't know why I just unfriend. Why?
Because they might be family.
Like, that's, yeah.
That's the true one for me.
Yeah. No, me too. Me too. I have a couple of those.
Yeah. Also, could I be almost the opposite of this? I've been Snapchatting this guy who's been Snapchatting me.
Ooh.
This guy, Dom.
A new guy, eh?
Just out of nowhere, sent me a Snapchat. And I responded being like, oh, cool, hope your flight is good. Who are you? And he responded, we ended up chatting for a bit over Snapchat, and we looked each other up on Facebook.
Is he a fan of the show?
Maybe?
I don't know.
No friends in common. Lives in Montreal, now lives in Copenhagen.
Oh, jealous.
So I'm just getting snaps of, like, parties in Copenhagen, or him in his office in Copenhagen, and I'm just like... And not even, like, his story. He's snapping them at me. And we've just come to this silent agreement of we'll snap each other once in a while. Just like... Hey, stranger, who somehow found me on Snapchat.
Maybe he's a big fan of the show.
It's just one of those things where it was like, huh.
If
also,
that's the case, Dom, where are my Snapchats?
Yeah,
bud?
Dom, you gotta add the waxman to your
some
Snapchat.
Copenhagen Snapchat because Lila's not there anymore. She's traveling now.
Yeah,
so
she's coming home soon.
I spoke to her a couple weeks ago. So a couple weeks ago was 7 weeks. So she'll be home soon, mid-July, I think.
I do miss that girl. We gotta see her when she gets back. A little party.
Agreed.
Take her down to that bar we keep going to. The one that you.
Midway?
That's the one.
We'll go to Midway.
It was a good bar.
Midway's a good spot. I was just there.
Yeah.
Last week?
Yeah.
A few days ago, actually. Even.
I was tired. I couldn't make it. I was dead.
It's okay. We understood.
We'll make it to the next drinking one because we don't drink enough together.
True.
Never
Never
happens.
happens.
Drink. No, I've never seen you drink.
Never.
Ever.
God, no.
So, this will be our sign-off, guys. As usual, you can catch us on Twitter. I'm at Boxless Thoughts.
Yeah, but at Ryan W. I want to just give a quick shout-out to my buddy Brad, who just also released his first episode of his podcast.
Exciting.
If you are into professional wrestling, it is a niche podcast. They're called The Four Jobbers. It's him, his friends Jordan, Lewis, and Gilbert. They talk about wrestling. A couple of them are Scottish, so you might need a translator. But it's good stuff if you are into professional wrestling. If that's your thing, please, please, please check them out. They are on iTunes. They have one episode up.
I might be able to listen. I'm not a big wrestling guy, but I do appreciate Brad.
I used to be so much into professional wrestling. We'll get into that another time.
Yeah, that's another. We'll get into a sports episode. We'll talk to that. I have some wrestling stories.
Definitely. I used to be huge into professional wrestling. But yeah, please check out the Four Jobbers if wrestling is your thing. If not, check them out anyway. They probably have good banter.
I feel like they would. I feel like...
It's two Scots, an Irishman, and a Canadian having drinks together.
Dude.
That... in itself is probably good enough to check out. And
I think I might give it a listen, see what happens.
Definitely worth it. Four Jobbers. Four Jobbers, they have a Twitter account too. You can follow them. So, Brad, if you're listening, I got your back, my friend.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, follow us on Twitter.
As always, a shout out to our lovely artist Andrea at Airy
so
Smiles. Again, you can find her Twitter handle along with ours right in our logo.
Andrea, we love you. We love Rooster Teeth. We love Ruby.
Thank you so much. I gotta go watch Chibi. I haven't watched this week's yet.
We are so much in your debt. Do we have anything else to shout out before we go?
I mean, I guess we did shout him out a little bit, but we can be a little more specific and say Original Gamer on YouTube, Mike's channel through Epic Mealtime.
Yeah, our good friend Mike is working with Epic Mealtime now. Look at us.
He does a lot of live streams on YouTube with the YouTube gaming series.
Check him out. He's such a cool guy.
A lot of Overwatch recently, but he's really fun.
It is, but everyone's playing Overwatch.
Tell him we sent you. He's pretty good at chatting to the audience. He gets quite a few viewers, but he's pretty good at singling people out and chatting. We had a nice little chat.
And he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Really, really nice guy. I had a thing I was going to say before we left.
Which was?
I forgot.
Oh, you forgot what it was?
I forgot what it was. I don't think it was that important. So I guess we'll just go away now.
Yep. I'm waiting. You know what I'm waiting for.
I know what you're waiting for. Little like techno remix. Speaking of which beer. Bye. I love you.
I love you more.
No.